Welcome to Module 4. Today we're going to talk all about library visits. Now, if you asked me 2.5 years ago if I would be sitting here with you talking about how to have successful library visits, I would have told you that that was not possible. Library visits were so hard when we started for so many reasons. But the thing that kept me going was the vision, the long game thinking, that I really wanted to build a culture that loved and valued reading in my home, and I knew that this was going to be the most cost-effective way to do it. So I kept that in mind and I kept persevering. And really it is the best way to get a diverse variety of books into our children's hands, into our homes, and really explore reading and falling in love with it. Now, there are 3 things that I must say helped us along the journey that made our library visits so successful in the end. Because now we love going to the library and we borrow a massive variety of books. And we love it. We have so much fun. And this is what is going to happen for you too. I truly believe it. There are 3 things that really have helped transform our library visits. The first one is planning for energy. Our little ones' bodies were not designed to sit still and quiet for long periods of time. They need to move, they need to get that energy and their voices out and heard. So planning for energy is really important. Make sure that there's somewhere where they can run and play, either before, after, or both. So when we lived in Singapore, there were 2 different libraries that we could go to, one that had an indoor playground nearby and one that had an outdoor playground nearby. Good days, we'd go to the outdoor playground. Bad weather days, we'd go to the indoor playground. Now, I've actually got 2 libraries within a 10-minute drive, but we actually drive 20 minutes to a different library because that library has got a playground outside, so if it's good weather, we can play out there. Or they've got a nice big space within the library in the children's section tucked at the very back of the library, and they've got toys that the kids can borrow and play with. They've got things that they can climb on, so it's a great place to get all those wiggles out. Once they've used some energy, they're more likely to sit down and engage with some books for a while before they need to move again. So make sure you're planning to use that energy in some positive way. The next thing that we did is we set expectations, and we made these expectations as easy as possible. We are in a library, so learning how to have walking feet. So we don't say no running, we do say we're going to use our walking feet. We use our whisper voices. And in the beginning, our goal was to borrow 3 books each, and that was it. Walking feet, quiet voices, let's find 3 books. Simple as that. The last thing is building in a reward of some sort, and this can ebb and flow and change. At the beginning for us, it was after the library was done, we would go to Starbucks and get a little treat to share, and I would read some books while they were eating a treat. Or now that we're in Canada, sometimes it's Tim Hortons. Sometimes it's that we're gonna head to the museum afterwards. Sometimes it's just that we get to go home and read these amazing books. So always have some sort of fun little reward that comes with going to the library. We want them to have a good connection and a good sense of feeling and emotions that connect to their library visits. These 3 things will make your library visits successful. Planning for energy, making expectations really simple, having a reward. And there's one more thing that I know that I did, and I'm so glad I caught myself before I ended the video. Lists. Lists are so important. So when we first started going to the library, I would spend hours preparing lists so that when we went in, because just getting those 3 books can sometimes be really difficult in the beginning. I needed to know which authors I was going for, which titles, where it was in the library. I would prepare so much. So you can do that, absolutely. There's amazing ways to prepare. You can look through Amazon, you can look through other Instagram accounts and book lists. There's so many ways to prepare and find books that you like. You know your children's interests better than I do. Prepare lists. Now, if you're not the type that really wants to prepare lists, I've got you covered because I've saved all my lists. Every month in my monthly newsletter, it's completely free. You get Library Loves List, which is a 2-page document of alphabetical lists, an alphabetical book list for you to use when you go to the library to borrow books. You also get 3 to 5 special recommended books within the newsletter as well. So I highly recommend making sure that you're part of the newsletter club. That way you get those lists, you don't have to create them, and you can take them along on your library visits to make things smoother. Remember to check out the workbook, work through the different strategies to help make your library visits really, really fruitful. And I'll see you tomorrow in our next module.